Okay, does this sound familiar? You sit down, ready to work, and then 10 minutes later, you find yourself just scrolling on your phone. If that's you, you are definitely not alone. So today, we're going to break down the actual science behind why our focus feels so broken, and, way more importantly, what we can do to get it back. This quote from Reddit just absolutely nails it, right? It's not always some deep-seated fear of failure. A lot of the time, the simple truth is that distractions are just, well, they're more fun. They give us that instant little hit of reward that the hard, focused work in front of us just can't compete with. And this isn't just a feeling, by the way. It is a measurable, documented thing. Research shows that the average attention span for an adult today is just 8.25 seconds. And get this, that is officially shorter than the attention span of a goldfish. No, seriously. So if you feel like you're struggling to focus, you're not making it up. This is a huge, widespread problem. So what is actually happening inside our brains to make this happen? Well, it pretty much all comes down to one super powerful neurochemical. And if you can understand it, you can start to break free from what's known as the dopamine trap. This is the big question, isn't it? You can wake up with all the motivation in the world, but if you start your day with just a quick 5-minute scroll, it's like all that motivation just evaporates. Suddenly that textbook or that spreadsheet feels like the most boring thing on the entire planet. Why does that happen? Okay, this chart right here explains everything. Imagine your dopamine has a natural, normal baseline. When you wake up and immediately scroll through social media, you're giving your brain this massive spike. It's like a dopamine feast. But here's the problem. Your brain can't just stay up there. It has to correct itself, and it doesn't just go back to normal. It crashes below the baseline. So when you try to open your textbook an hour later, your brain is literally in a dopamine deficit, which makes the slow, steady reward of studying feel, well, completely pointless. And here you can see the choice your brain is making. And look, it's not about being lazy. It's about being efficient. Our brains are constantly doing this little calculation, this dopamine to effort ratio. Scrolling gives you a huge reward for basically zero effort. Deep reading, on the other hand, takes a ton of effort for a much smaller, much more delayed reward. Your brain is literally hardwired to choose the easiest path to the biggest prize. So this brings us to the most important reframe of this whole explainer. We always think of dopamine as the pleasure molecule, but it's actually way more accurate to think of it as the motivation or even the hunger molecule. See, when your dopamine is low, your brain gets hungry for a reward. In that state, even a small win like figuring out a tricky problem feels super satisfying. But if you start your day with that dopamine feast, your brain's already full. To your brain, studying just looks like leftovers. And this brings us to a really, really crucial shift in perspective. If you've been beating yourself up over your lack of focus, you can stop. Seriously, this is not a personal character flaw. It's a completely predictable biological response to the overwhelming world we live in. I just love this quote because it really gets to the heart of the matter. Our brains, they evolved for a world where rewards were scarce. Now we live in a world of infinite high dopamine candy. Your brain's operating system is working exactly like it's supposed to. It's just that the software of modern life is constantly hijacking it. But here's the fantastic news. Your brain isn't set in stone. This principle, neuroplasticity, it proves that our brains can and do change based on our habits and experiences. You can literally build new roads in your brain, strengthening the parts that are responsible for deep focus. I want you to think about it like this. Your attention is a muscle. Every single time you notice you're distracted and you gently pull your focus back to what you're supposed to be doing, you are doing one repetition. It's like a bicep curl for your brain. It might feel super weak at first, but with practice, you are literally building mental strength. Okay, so if we know we can retrain our brains, how? How do we actually do it? This is where we shift from understanding the why to learning the how, with a really clear, structured system for taking back control. Okay, this is called the dopamine loading system. It's a simple 3-phase approach. First, deprivation. This is key. When you wake up, protect your mornings. Do not touch your phone. Let your brain get hungry. Second is priming. Before you start to work, just take 2 minutes and visualize yourself succeeding at the task. This gets your brain excited about the work itself. And third, amplification. You save the fun stuff, the scrolling, the videos, whatever, for the evening after the important work is done. This teaches your brain that focus is the key that unlocks the reward.
All right, that three-part system is the foundation. Now, to make it even stronger, let's build out a full toolkit of strategies you can use every single day to support it.
It all starts with your mindset. First, try to find joy in the process itself, not just in getting to the finish line. Second, and this is a big one, reward yourself for starting. Just showing up is half the battle. And finally, go for consistency over intensity. Doing a little bit every day is so much more powerful than one heroic all-night cram session. Next up, some powerful techniques. First, meditation. Seriously, just 5 minutes a day trains your brain to notice when it's wandering. Second, try the Pomodoro technique. 25 minutes of solid focus, then a 5-minute break. It's super manageable. And third, gamify your work. Get some index cards, write your tasks on them. And every time you finish one, you physically move the card to a done pile. That tiny little action gives you a really satisfying dopamine hit. And finally, you have to control your environment. This is absolutely huge. Create a space that is physically free of distractions. Put the phone in another room. And if you're really stuck, just change your scenery. Go to a library or a coffee shop. Breaking those old environmental cues can work wonders. Okay, I know. This all can sound like a lot. So let's boil it all down to the single most important rule for getting started when you feel completely and totally stuck. This is the secret right here. Your brain panics when the task is write the 10-page report, but it doesn't panic at open a new Word document. You have to lower the barrier to entry so much that first step just feels, well, stupidly easy. And this just illustrates it perfectly. Your goal is not to go to the gym. Your goal is to put on your shoes. Your goal isn't to clean the entire kitchen, it's to wash one dish. Once you take that tiny little first step, you break the inertia, and the next step it often follows automatically. So I'll leave you with this one last thought to chew on. We spend so much energy trying to pile on more willpower, more discipline, more effort. But what if the real solution isn't about adding anything at all? What if getting your focus back is actually a subtractive process? It's about removing that first easy distraction and just giving your brain a chance to get hungry for the things that actually matter.